Zombok.
Good morning, Zompok. Zompok of good mornings. The morning of Zompok goodness. Which one are we? I don't know. Anyway, welcome. I'm Bex and that's Marc. We are GMZ.
We are GMZ, the UK's #1 podcast. Not the #1 podcast.
So we're the #1 podcast. Last week we were the #1 zombie podcast. This week we've jumped up in everybody's estimations and we are now the #1 podcast in the UK.
Ever. Yeah, delusions.
Take that, MD WAP.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you guys. So we are the UK's #1 post-apocalyptic zombie podcast. And what makes us that is our own grandeur, our own designs,
my
our own
sparkling
visions.
wit.
Obviously, your sparkling wit and my irresistible charm. And they're the crucial ingredients that make us the most incredible podcast you can find on the internet
in the world.
So what look like? I'm not really prepared. I'm not prepared at all this week.
Are we ever prepared?
Well, no. But I'm less prepared.
I mean, we've got a guest, so I suppose we're mildly prepared.
Oh, excellent.
Semi-prepared. We have a semi on.
I've always got a semi on when talking to you.
No, I do not want to hear that, please. No.
What? Does it not mean what I think it means?
I don't know. What do you think it means?
I think it means that I'm half prepared for the podcast. That's what it means. So
that's what it means. Then. That's fine.
You know, I'm semi-ready, so I'm semi-on. That's what it means. I've got a semi-on for you, and that's what that means. So I'm fine with that, as long as you're fine with that. And so what we do at GMZ is we
talk shit on the internet.
We talk shit
and interview people.
But I mean, the basis behind it, that the background, the story, the depth. I'm waffling, but I mean the reason we do this is for the zombies. The zombies that's what it's all about. We started off in the zombie apocalypse itself. We was just trying to survive through the night, and then obviously we evolved, and then it turns out it was a dream or something. I can't remember, but we wasn't actually in the zombie apocalypse, and we had like a year of thinking we were, but then we wasn't. And then we came into the normal timeline, real life, and since then we've been interviewing wonderful authors, directors, actors, and incredible people. Who have we interviewed, Bex?
We have interviewed Marc Tufo.
Yes, the writer, that one.
Yeah, we have interviewed not the new what? Not the old one.
Not the other one. No, the writer one. That's the one we interviewed.
The writer one. Yeah. We've interviewed Kate Ashfield from Shaun of the Dead.
Sure, I remember her. Yep, she was.
She was very nice. She was very nice. We have interviewed
each other.
We've interviewed Peter McKinnon, who is the writer of Death in a Northern Town, and he does the Dead Town web series. Very talented man. Last week we interviewed Ricky Fleet, Smelly Feet. He has wrote the Hellspawn series, and he's just got a couple of new books out. We've interviewed so many people. It's really hard to keep track, especially when you're an alcoholic.
Yes, that is very difficult when you have a sketchy memory. We interviewed Russell Hodgkinson from Z Nation. We also who plays
Matthias Hone from the writer and director of Cockneys vs Zombies.
We did him. We did Joanne Boland, who was in George Romero's Land of the Dead.
I forgot about Joanne Boland. She was ace.
Yeah, she was amazing. She sent us a picture of her jacket, a Pretty Boy jacket.
That she stole.
So she was amazing. There's so many wonderful people that we've had the pleasure of speaking to. It's really, really, really hard to keep track when you David Wellington. Remember David Wellington?
I did. He was the one when I had brought my laptop on holiday with me, and I did it sitting on a sink in a kitchen, and it sounded really dodgy.
Yes, I remember that.
But I was also fangirling a lot.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I mean, we've done some really good interviews. We've been really lucky. But most of the time, when we're not doing interviews, what we're doing is just fluffing around on the internet. But what we like to do is sort of, promote sort of, I wouldn't say up-and-coming authors, because that's wrong, because most of these authors that we talk to now are established. It's their career.
We have done a couple of up-and-coming authors, though.
We have. Yeah. But most of the people we talk to now, like Peter McKinnon, like Ricky Fleet, like Claire Cee Riley, they're established.
But when we started interviewing people, the people, you've got to think that when it was like 2 years ago when we first started having people on, these people weren't as well known, and it's not our influence at all. Like we've done absolutely fuck all for these people's career, but they're so brilliant that now they really are established, and they're selling shitloads of books, and they've got all these books coming out, and they're just amazing people. But when we first started talking to people 2 years ago, it was a different story.
I tell you,
it's amazing.
A good example of that is Suzanne Sussex, isn't it? Because
yes.
We knew her before she was Suzanne Sussex, before that was her author name. And obviously, we did an interview when she first released her first book, and since then there's been 3 or 4 books in that series, and then there was the Origins come out recently, which was like a prequel. So, these people just keep churning them out and making a name for themselves, which is incredible.
And like I say, it's definitely nothing to do with our input at all. It's all to do with the talent of these indie authors that we're luckily having on.
I disagree. I think.
You think it's up? You think it's our influence?
I think
you would, because you're a narcissist.
I am a massive narcissist, and I think they all owe me substantial sums of money.
Okay.
That it's fine. Like, they can write IOUs or something like that. It's fine. Or if they just look at it as like a Godfather type arrangement, where one day in the future I will call on them for a favour, and then they can.
You came and you disrespect my family.
Yeah, and then I can get them to murder someone. Maybe that. I feel like that.
This is taking a very dark turn.
No darker than usual, Bex. No darker than usual. Okay, so whom is our interview this week? Is it someone incredible, amazing?
Yes.
Who could it be?
It is Cee Cee Riley. We've had her on before.
Yes.
She's amazing. She was at Weekend of the Dead again this year with us too. She is the author of the Odium series, which I think has she just released her 5th?
6th.
Oh, 6th, bloody hell, see. And when we first interviewed her, I'm sure she was only up to 2.
Yeah,
she just churns. She's like an Odium machine. But she's also done some other stuff. She's just released. Is it like a romantic novel?
Oh, she has a whole romantic other side to her personality. We'll get to that in a sec.
We will. But yeah, that's who we've got on today.
That's who we've got on. We'll give her a ring and we'll ask her all these questions and find out about her saucy alter ego, because she's going to enjoy talking about that with me, I think. Anyway, let's get her on.
Right, so this week we have got a repeat guest who is the fantastic author of the Odium series. It's Cee Cee Riley.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, that was a good round of applause.
Yeah. Hello.
Sorry. Oh, I'm falling apart. Hiya, Claire, how you doing?
Hi, I'm dying of the lurgy, like I said. Yeah, I think this is where it all begins or ends. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, before you die, would you mind just, telling us what you've been up to recently?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So book 6 released of Odium. It's like well overdue. So I'm really sorry, everyone.
See, I feel like you've written a lot in such a short space of time. We were just saying, me and Marc, when we did the introduction, that when we interviewed you guys kind of like 2 years ago when we first started, and you were all not just starting out, but you only had like a few books out, and now suddenly you're up to book 6.
Yeah, well, I think when you interviewed me last time, I think I had 4 of the Odium ones out, but then
4?
Yeah, but I branched out quite a lot into lots of different other books since then. Obviously, I've done Blood Claim. Oh my god, my husband's just brought me a big bottle of wine. I love you.
That is the best husband ever.
Hi, bye. John's little cameo.
Hi, John.
That's why I married him.
You knew there was a
This
reason.
is why you married him.
So I mean, I had 4 out then, but obviously I've done 2 more since then. But then I've done Blood Claim, which was pure horror, Beautiful Victim, which is obviously like dark thriller suspense, and then obviously I've branched off into my pen name as well. So I've done a lot in 2 years.
You've been a busy bee.
So this is the bit where I jump in, because I want to talk about your Cee Cee Riley stuff.
Okay.
He just wants to get to the erotica.
I said Claire's going to love talking about this.
He wants to get to the sexy stuff.
Because I never realised that you did the sexy stuff, but apparently you do. It's under the name Cee Cee Riley. So what have you done in erotica?
Well, it's not. I mean, well, I guess it is. It's not complete erotica. It's more like really dirty romance.
That is erotica.
Yeah. Do you know what? As I was saying it, I was like, well. Well, no, erotica is more. It's basically just a very, very loose plot with mainly sex in it. So mine is thick in plot, thick in characters. But obviously there is like quite a lot of sex in it, if that makes sense. So there is like a lot of plot there. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of backstory with characters and stuff. So it's not quite erotic, but it is very, very dirty.
Ooh, might be next on my Kindle list, that one.
Yeah.
See, because we had Vicky Fleet on last week and he was talking about his new book and I was like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Instantly downloaded it, loving it. So yours is next, because obviously you've come on talking about his book. And it's like, okay, I've got to read that one now.
Well, I'm one of those. I'm a Gemini, so I read pretty much any genre. I don't actually read erotica because I like stuff with plot and I like really like deep character stories. As you know from all my books, all my characters have got like some kind of trauma. So I do like a bit of everything, which is why I write. I've got some other thrillers which are coming out. Even my horror, Blood Claim. Obviously that's pure horror, but there's a lot of story with each character, and there's like a new twist on each character and like the horror that happens to them within the story. So yeah, I don't know. I like to complicate shit. Don't I?
So what's Blood Claim about? Because I've not heard of that one from you. I'm sorry if that makes me very ignorant. I'm trying to keep up with all these all you guys and what you're writing, but you're saying it's like a pure horror.
Yeah, so it's basically my husband John. He loves to watch like Gold Rush and things like that, and I kind of got into it watching it with him, and he was always like, yeah, I could definitely do that, I could go mine gold. And then he did. I know, he's such a dick.
That's such a weird thing to say.
I was like, it's that easy, babe, because it's that easy. But then they did like this spin-off one where they went to Ghana, and they were like mining for gold over there, because obviously the ground is thick in gold, but it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And I came up with this like plot of, obviously it's like a really haunted ground, and there's like a demonic presence that lives within it, and these guys go over to mine gold and make their fortune, and obviously it's kind of the shit that goes down with them. But yeah, it's completely straight up horror. There's like even in my other short stories that I've done where they've been just horror, it's always had like female characters, but this is literally like 99% all male.
Oh yeah.
So it took me, God, I think I did about 6 months worth of research first on
men.
Oh, on men, on Ghana, on gold mining and men. Yeah. So,
it's really good though that you do that much research instead of just thinking, okay, I've got this idea, I'm just going to write it.
yeah.
It's good that you do the research to make it a bit more believable.
Well, it's one of those. I don't know, like when I do the Cee Cee Riley stuff, that's based around like some bikers in America, and my dad was one of the first Hells Angels in the UK, so I know a little about
It's so cool.
about like bikers and stuff like that, but I don't know anything about guns. So within the story I've done a little bit of research on it, but I kind of don't want to touch on stuff that I don't really know enough about. And as much research as I do, I've never fired a gun, so I can't ever really massively explain that feeling. So I do try and do as much research in all my books as I physically can, because I want it to be realistic. Do you know what I mean? As much as I physically can make it, obviously. But yeah, I know it was a hard book to write, Blood Claim, because there was so much research, and like I literally know all about the land, the ground, the food they eat, the clothes they wear, the music, the air, literally the air, the temperature, because I wanted to know all about it and make it kind of as true as I possibly could be, because it is, such a deep story. But yes.
So what do you do when you're doing your research? Do you write the story and then research the bits you don't know, or do you do research first and then write a story?
Do you know what? It's a little bit. So when I was doing, for instance, Blood Claim, obviously I knew it was going to be about obviously like gold mining and stuff. So I did loads of research on gold mining and the different pieces of equipment and things like that. And obviously like the process that you have to go through to gold mine. And then I'd start writing the story, and I'd come to a bit for instance, there's a scene right at the beginning where they're at the airport, and I was like, well, I want to know what the airport's like. So obviously I Google mapped it, had a look what the airport was like, what the air temperature was going to be like, the seasons and everything like that. And then I'd write a bit more, and it got to like different bits where they're eating food, and I was like, right, look up different food types, different clothes that they'd be wearing, how would they be served, what's the hotels like. So I did a big bunch of research right at the start to kind of get me going, and then a little bit more as I go along to each scene to kind of what I think's needed. Because obviously some stuff you find that like, actually I don't really need that. Now I know there's loads of useless information.
I mean that's what I was getting at. It's like, what's the point of doing months worth of research if you don't need all of it?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess with Odium, that you're kind of are you at a research-free zone now, where you're just like you're 6 books in and you're just like character-driven, so you don't need as much research, or are you still doing equally as much?
Not as much, no, because obviously the world itself is kind of set up for me now, and it was always a fictional world that I put it in, so I knew
you can't research zombies.
Well, you know what I mean, it's going to happen. So. So I always based it in a fictional place. It's based in America, but I'll never say where it's based because I wanted it to be somewhere that everybody could imagine. You know, and it kind of leads to different places in America. But again, I never actually, if you think about it, I never actually name exactly where people are from or anything like that, because I kind of like to keep it open. So research that wise was actually pretty easy. I did have to do some, like there's one of the first couple of books, there's like a place which is it's still running on electricity, but it's like obviously all from the sun and things like that, and I had to research batteries and stupid stuff like that, which was really boring. And there's this scene, and I have to say it because it annoys everybody that ever reads the Odium series, and one day I'm going to write a short story just so that everyone knows what I know. So there's a scene in the first book where there's like inside knowledge, where Nina has basically come out from behind the wall, and she goes to this guy's house, and her and Emily make their escape in this big car that's in the garage. And everyone's like, that car wouldn't have been able to start, it's not been started for like 3 years and stuff. It would, because when I wrote that story, I always intended to write a separate little spin-off series which was about the man that lived in that house, and that car, he'd been driving it like every day for 3 years. But I've never got around to writing the story.
No, but it
So nobody
exists.
knows.
Yeah.
It exists in your mind, so that's enough, isn't it? I mean,
well, I've got part of the story written on a computer as well.
Excellent.
But it like everyone in that first book is always like, it wouldn't start, and in my head I'm like, it would fucking start because it started because he was driving it.
Because in another story in my head, he looks after the car for the 3 years of the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, because if you think about it, even like if you ever go back to it, and all his stuff's by the entrance, and his photos are still there, and there's still loads of food there and stuff, because he was like basically like hung down in the house.
Yeah.
He's camped out, and then he was going to make an escape, and he died on his way of escaping. And again, I've got that, and I will write it one day so that everyone can read it and everyone can share
I have to say, when I read that and they started the car, I never actually thought this car wouldn't start, because I haven't got a fucking clue.
No, I'm same. I'm like, I don't know about
I
cars.
presume the car would start, to be honest.
After 3 years, I actually contacted a couple of different mechanics and stuff, and I asked them, and they did say that there's a very, very, very slim chance, if the temperature had been right, the ambience had been right in the garage, it is still a possibility that it could have, but it's a very, very, very slim chance. And I asked like 3 different garages, and
I love that you like contacted mechanics for that. That is brilliant. That is literally
like asking for advice on it, and they were like, what?
This is why you're so successful. You ask these questions from these people. It's brilliant.
But in my head, I was still kind of like, but there's still that chance that probably wouldn't. So I was kind of like, I need to write a story about this as to why, which is why, like I said, all his stuff's kind of piled up by the front door, and all his stuff's still packed and everything, because he was still alive for quite a long time. So yeah, cleared that up now.
You cleared that up.
I didn't realise that it wasn't set in a real place in America. I guess I did, but I never really gave it much thought, because like you said, it's so character driven, you don't think about the locations as much. How do you cope with the lack of real locations? Because like do you have a map? Have you got a map at home that, you know, is where you can follow characters around and which direction they're going, and that, you know, because obviously if it's not a real place, how do you know which direction they're going in?
I've got bits of maps, so
Right.
for each book I'd kind of sketch out like a dead rough little place in my head of like where all the camps are. So for instance, in the last book, there's so many different characters because I'm bringing everyone together for this like one epic battle which is going to happen. And there's literally, I think there's 4 or 5 different camps, and I had to kind of know where everyone was going to be to kind of keep it clear in my head. So I've got different ones for different books, but nothing for the whole universe, because again, it's like, it's not a flat plane of existence, it's like a proper 3-dimensional, because it's on different levels, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah. But I mean, would you ever like get a proper map maker, a cartographer, to make you a map of Odium? Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be very cool, actually. And I've seen, I think it's Sarah Lyons Fleming, she's got a couple of amazing series, and at the start of some of hers, she's got some maps, and they're really, really cool. Like, as a reader, I like seeing stuff like that. And I think there's another author, Tracy Ward. I think she does something similar in one of her series. I'm sure it's her. And it is really, really cool to see. But again, because it's not a real place, I don't know how difficult or how hard that would be. It'd be like getting a police person, you know, to do like a sketch of someone that doesn't actually exist, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it would be forever changing.
Yeah. That would be brilliant though, because I mean, I've read the Game of Thrones books, and they have little maps in them. And I tell you what, when you're kind of reading something in those books and you kind of go and refer back to the maps, it's like, great. You're like, so that's where it is. That
maybe I could do like a map book of all the different places, and just do it as like a separate thing, like a fan edition that people could have.
Yeah.
I mean, you're busy enough as it is, but
make some fucking
sounds
maps.
it sounds like an area you could go down. I reckon that would be so popular.
Do you know, it's a funny thing. I was brought up, my first book that I fell in love with was The Hobbit, and obviously it's got a map in it at the front, and obviously that, you know, then I went into fantasy, and every fantasy book has a fucking map, you know, it's a Game of Thrones thing. And and if I see a book and it's got a map in it, or a video game and you get a free map with it, I buy it.
Fucking love it.
You're such a geek.
I am such a geek.
Mom, a free map.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? When I was a kid, I used to have them on the wall.
It's got a free map in it.
I'm a nerd. That's all right. So anyway, back to you, Claire. So how many books do you actually have? How many, like, because I know you've got like Odium, and then you've got these spin-off series. Have you kept account? How many are out?
Well, I'm looking at my shelf now, so let's think. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19. I mean 19, and then I've got 3 rapid releases under Cee Cee Riley coming in the next month.
Wow.
The bed, that's a lot of books.
In January, and then 2, 4, 6, 8 anthology books on the shelf that I've done as well.
So have you got a day job as well?
No, I sort of. So I help my mum and dad have got their own shop, doing like kitchen appliances and stuff. So I help them out for like 3 mornings a week, just so that they'll take time off and spend time with my children and things, because they work like 6 days a week otherwise. Help them out by doing that, and then they watch the girls.
Oh, bless them.
So, out of your 20 odd books, which one is the bestseller?
I don't know.
You're a rubbish author.
She doesn't keep track.
Do you know what? I would say so. Like the romance stuff sells 100 to 1 to the zombies or horror or anything. But
really?
The market's so much bigger, isn't it? It's something like 70% of the readership in America reads romance compared to 8% of horror. So, do you know what I mean? I would say probably one of the favourites that people contact me the most over is either Out of the Dark or Beautiful Victim. They're the two over the most.
And which one would you pick as your personal favourite?
Probably one of those two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Beautiful Victim, that's like a dark thriller suspense, and I wrote that in, I think it was 10 days, and it's 80,000 words.
Wow. Blimey.
Yeah, it just literally, I've never ever had anything. It was like a proper out-of-body experience that just poured from me to the point where like I was getting cramp in my fingers and stuff. But I just had to get this story out. It was just
Can you do my uni assignment, please?
Yeah. I just think it's weird because sometimes you can spend 4 hours at a laptop and get 500 words, and then all of a sudden I just got this weird story in my head. I didn't even know what the story was. I was literally, it's the only time I've ever not written even a loose plot out. I literally wrote it by the seat of my pants. The story was just coming to me as I was writing. It was really, really weird.
Are they the moments as an author that you live for? Are they like the inspirational moments? Yeah.
Yeah, God, yeah. Without a doubt. It's days like those. You're like, oh my God, I'm a real author.
Yeah. I can write.
I'm a real writer.
Yeah, it must be so frustrating when you get those days where you spend a day looking at a blank screen and nothing happens, but you know you're capable of the other thing as well. I mean, it must drive you loopy.
It's awful. It's awful because like. Most people are like, oh my God, Mondays, and I'm like, yeah, Mondays. And then I can get there, I can get the dog walked and get my house sorted, and then I sit down, I get my laptop, I'm like, this is gonna do it. We're gonna do 5 million words today. It's gonna be amazing. And then I look back after an hour, and I'm like, how many words have I done? 3.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's horrific, and I'm like, why? So yeah, you have those days where it's horrible. But...
So what's been your favourite genre to write? Obviously, you've written. Everything's just completely different from what's coming out of your fingers.
I don't know. It all depends on the mood I'm in. Like I said, I'm a Gemini, so I'm like a proper flip-floppy bitch anyway.
Flip-floppy bitch? That is a brilliant,
brilliant
description.
Kind of like, I'm all about the alpha males and the tattooed bikers, and I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, we're going to do this, and I'm riding a bike. And then other days I'm like, no, I'm going to kill some people with some zombies and stuff. So it literally just depends who's pissed me off.
So Gemini, bipolar.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
It's the hardest thing I find is some days I'll be like on a tight deadline and I've got to write, 10,000 words on one book before the end of the day because this story's got to be finished. It's booked in at my editor's, and then it just won't come. And all in the back of my head, like I'll have, I don't know, if I'm writing like Odium, I'll have in the back of my head one of the bikers going, write my story. I want to you. And I'm like, no, fuck off. No.
Yeah.
I can't write you today. And
I can't cheat on Odium today.
And it's awful. And some days you just have to just admit defeat. And I'll be like, right, okay, just save the file and just get on and just write this scene that I've got in my head so I can get it out. And that's actually how Beautiful Victim happened. Because I was meant to be writing Odium 6. So sorry, readers. And then I got this image in my head of this guy sat at a bus stop, and it was dark at night and it was raining, and he looked across the road and someone was there, this woman getting in a cab, and as the light came on and he looks up and he sees her, and he just gets this moment of kind of, I know you, memory. And I couldn't get this one scene out of my head, and I was like, I can't write this right now though, I need to do this. And then in the end I gave up and I was like, right, just put Odium to one side for a minute, let's just write this scene, get it over and done with, and I can come back to it. And by the end of the day I had to go and like get my kids at like 3:30 from school, and it was like 25 past. I was literally like slamming my laptop closed, and I'd written something like 9,000 words on it because I just couldn't stop writing. It just came to me so vividly. It was weird. So yeah,
that's wonderful.
Amazing.
It is, isn't it? It's lovely to hear like that you have these moments where it just sort of just comes out of you like an out-of-body experience. I wish it came that easy for me. I just have to sit there and hit the keys until something makes sense. That's amazing. Claire, thank you very much for coming on to our podcast again. It's an absolute pleasure. Remind everybody what your website is again.
www.claireCeeRiley.com.
That's brilliant.
Nice and easy to remember.
It sounded like an Alexa or Siri or something. Amazing. Thank you very much for coming on, Claire.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Bye. Go and enjoy your bottle of wine.
I'm gonna.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Claire Cee Riley. Thank you for coming on,
Cee
Claire Cee
Riley.
Riley. Cee Cee Riley. Let's give a round of applause. This is my new thing. We give people rounds of applause.
I like giving people claps. Claps all round.
Claps all round. You like giving people the clap, I've heard. A little clap joke.
I enjoy spreading the claps. All the claps, not just one clap.
All the claps.
All the claps.
All the claps. Bex is responsible for all the claps.
If you want some claps, you come see me. You come see Auntie Becky.
Claire is probably, I don't know if she's the most talented, but she's definitely one of the most talented people that we've ever had on the podcast twice.
She's way more talented than you.
Yeah, well, everybody's more talented than me, but Claire is like ridiculously more talented than me. It's like on a different plane. It's like, you know, different.
Uber talented.
Yeah, uber talented. But I mean, she's an incredible down to earth person, even though she is uber talented. And I was saying to you off air a moment ago, wasn't I, Bex, that one day, and I can see it happen in the not too distant future, Claire is going to write a book. And it's just going to go nuts. It's going to take off. Because she is so prolific and is so character-driven and her stories are so profound. I think one day she's going to write one and it's just someone's going to pick it up for a movie and she's going to be on a different plane, different level of fame. And then she's going to
Hopefully she remembers us little people.
She'll come back on the podcast and she will spend 20 minutes calling me a cunt.
She does that anyway. We just edit it out.
That's true. But she should be able to do it from a more superior position. But yeah, so yeah, I can see that happening. But she's a real pleasure to have on. It's really nice to have Claire on the podcast.
It really is.
Have you anything else that we need to tell our listeners about before we leave?
Come and join our Facebook group. We are Good Mornings on Pock, the group. We have little competitions and prizes and general banter. Not always about zombies. Sometimes we talk about contraception, which is just weird. But you know, come over to the group. We're a fun group of people.
We are a bunch of fluffers.
You can come over and chill with us.
Yep.
We are doing GMZ Live again next year. Tickets will be on sale soon. How soon? How soon will tickets be on sale?
They're on sale now. They're on sale now. Tickets are on sale now. So it's going to be in Manchester again because that's where everyone voted for it to be because Manchester is awesome. Bollocks.
And bollocks. We're in association this year with
Cee Riley
and Cee Riley and with Hellspawn with Vicky Fleet,
and All Things Zombie, Things Zombie,
So we've got a few people kind of not sponsoring, but we're just like in association with. So hopefully we'll get more people, and it'll be a really good event. That's it.
That's it.
Be
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, the idea behind GMZ Live next year, the reason that we've teamed up with Ricky Fleet's Hellspawn, Cee Riley's Rebels, All Things Zombie, and the Dead Town guys, the reason we've teamed up with those four is that obviously they have their own little fan base, each their own little communities, their own Facebook groups. So the idea is that it's a social for all of those groups as well. So if anybody's a member of those groups, then they can come along, they can meet the author, they can buy some books, they can also mingle with other, the groups who are along the same lines. So that's the idea. Tickets are on sale, but we're not really going to push them too much until next year.
No, and I mean, they're only a few quid, the tickets, but we are going to give some away to the authors as well that can give them away to their fans. So
yes, so all of
beg
the groups...
Don't beg us. We don't care.
Yeah, because we're not giving you free ones. You've got to buy them from us. But you will be able to pick up free ones, in giveaways and stuff from those authors we just mentioned. There will be other guests as well, and I've got some surprises lined up as well for next year. So, a couple of surprises.
You're not going to have like a dick in a box or anything, are you?
Fucking hell, Bex, you've ruined it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, dude, sorry.
It was dicks in a box, but...
dicks.
Yeah, it was dicks, plural. More than one dick in a box. But now you've ruined it. Yeah.
You have to put something else in a box then.
Yeah, put a box in a box.
Clit in a box.
Oh dear, that sounds like a
Boob in
Christmas
box.
present. Oh, we're doing that in the group, aren't we? We're doing a Secret Santa in
I forgot we're doing Secret Santa. I am not looking forward to Secret Santa. I do not know. I do not know why I'm doing it because the people in our group are fucking crazy, and I do not know what I'll end up with. I could end up with like a cow heart through the post. I do not know.
Yeah, I hope we don't get awful in the post.
Anything is possible.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm not looking forward to receiving my Secret Santa. And also, I'm not very good at buying Secret Santa either, so that's a worry.
I'm just going to buy the most random shit I can. It's not going to be anything fancy.
I once, while we're talking about Secret Santas, I once received for a Secret Santa a G-string bikini made out of sweets.
Okay, I can certainly try and sway that for you. I would like to receive a Lamborghini.
No, that's not what I'd like to receive. I did receive. That's what I got one year.
Oh, that's what you got one year?
Yeah, I got one year. And there's a continuation to that story. As funny as it was to receive a bikini.
A bikini, a candy heart bikini.
Yeah, a candy heart bikini made out of sweets. I then didn't bring it in the house because I've got kids. So I put it straight in the boot of the car and forgot about it. And then sold the car. And and then the man who was emptying my car whilst I was part exchanging it for a brand new car then said, I'll get all your stuff out your boot for you, mate. Put his head...
Was he Australian?
Held it up and said, is this yours? And I said, yes, but you're welcome to it now. It's been in the car for a year.
That is fucking brilliant.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
See, I don't know. Why didn't you just take it in the house, like snip the string and just empty the sweets into a bowl and give them to your kids?
I don't know. Do you know what? We in work, we do this Secret Santa thing every year. Every year someone buys me something obscene, and every year I just come straight home, put it in the boot of the car, and I had a whole collection of shit in there. I also had an apron with a giant 6-foot penis on attached to the front of it as well. So I had all this stuff in the back of the car, underneath the secret compartment bit in the boot. So where the spare tyre's supposed to live.
So you basically have a secret compartment in your car, just full of random
dicks
sexy
and shit.
gifts.
Yeah. And the guy, so there's supposed to be a spare wheel in there, so the guy lifted it up to look for the spare wheel.
Spare willy instead.
What he found was a spare willy, was a bunch of shit and plastic that in the shape of dicks and stuff.
You look like you've got some kind of weird fetish.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, yeah, you just throw that away, mate. That's fine. I don't need it.
That is the best story ever.
Yeah, so that happened to me. So that's the type of disaster that Secret Santa could happen. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, or not.
Thank you very much for listening to our podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry about my voice. It's a bit weird today.
Your voice is always weird.
It's
you
weird.
always sound like a Cockney. That's weird.
You're sounding like a Brummy Manc Cockney recently. It's like
I am sounding like a Brummy Manc Cockney.
It's very weird. You've got this weird Essex tang to your voice at the end.
Nah, mate, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like you're bothered. Am I bothered? Face
I'm
bothered.
not bothered. I don't know what you're talking about.
But then you've got your Brummy and your Manc thrown in as well. It's great. You've got a great accent. We love it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it big in the BBC. Don't worry about that.
You're like posh Radio 4 lady.
Yeah, you'll be like, today's the fucking weather, innit?
Look, man, it's fucking sunny up there.
Pop your head out the fucking window.
It's fucking raining down here. What the fuck is up with that? Fucking cunting weather.
Oh, you like Tom Hardy, aren't you? Good voice actor, Tom Hardy. You're just like him. You can do Bane, you can do Mad Max, you can do a lot.
I'm trying to do Bane now.
I was going to do Bane, but I think I might do the craze. I came here for a fucking shootout. He's my brother. Or something like that. Go on, do your Bane voice. But Tom Hardy, think Tom Hardy thoughts. Get your lips.
The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
What was that?
I don't know what it fucking sounds like.
That was like a fucking Hammer horror film. You was like Dracula. You was like, I'm coming to get you. No, that wasn't horror. I'm coming to get you, Barbara. What am I doing? Oh, we're getting all our films muddled up. We're not very good voice actors.
I don't remember how he sounds.
He sounds like he's got something over his
When
face.
Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
No, you're not gonna.
No,
you're not quite on the
I
same level.
can't.
Do you know what? He makes it look easy, doesn't he? He makes it look.
He does.
It's harder than it looks.
You're saying I'm as good as Tom Hardy, but I just don't think I am. It's not my confidence, that.
I came here for a shootout, like a western. That's all I got from Legend. That's all I know. I should be better at that. I was born in the East End of London. I should be able to do a Cockney voice, but I can't.
Aren't you doing a Cockney voice now?
That's Essex, isn't it? Essex is different.
It sounds the same.
Yeah, same does to you Northerners, doesn't it? You're all about the fucking flat caps and the I don't know. whatever else.
And the pie sandwiches.
Pie sandwiches. The fuck is a pie sandwich?
Man, go and fucking eat a pie sandwich. Go and eat a pie balm and then come back to me.
I will. I'll come back to you. Right, everybody, you're probably fed up with us waffling on, so thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Sorry.
Are you not going to say thank you?
No, I just kind of got a bit of a block then when I couldn't think. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for Claire Cee Riley for joining us, and thank you to you, Marc, for doing fuck all like you normally do.
You made me giggle. You just literally said nothing.
I couldn't think. You know when someone asks you a question and you just stare at them because you've got no answer.
Yeah.
That is literally what was just happening. I was like,
okay, so you've said thank you. What do I say to that? Fuck off? Is that what it is? I don't know.
Just fuck off.
Right, thank you. And everything that Beck said, thank you very much for joining us. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.